Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. Today I wanted to go over the ISO 222 tokens for you guys. There's a bunch of them that are ISO 222 certified. I wanted to go over which ones are currently for sure certified. There may be more since this report came out, but these are the ones that are the big names of the business and the ones that are going to probably do really well in the next bull run. Now, ISO 222 certification is a certification that's going to be used by pretty much all the banking system and financial sector of the world. And if any of these tokens get chosen for their blockchain to be used by payment systems for banks, that project is probably going to do really well. Now, obviously, we know a lot of them, but I want to cover all of them here that are currently actually on the list and are actually certified currently. I know there's a bunch of other ones that are working on certification, but these are the ones that are on this list that I'm looking at. So I just want to go over this quick with you guys to kind of get you thinking about which ones of these you might want to accumulate in your portfolio before 2025, because after 2025, it's hard to tell what these could do as far as if they're going to come back down after the bull run a lot or not. I think they'll have one more crash after this next bull run, and then by 2029, 2030, or 2029 and 2030, I think that a lot of these are going to be used by financial banks and markets, and then the price is going to be so high on a lot of these that you probably won't be able to accumulate them for very profitable gains after that period. So I think this is the best time to accumulate them, and then after the next bull market, when the market crashes again, it's probably going to be one of the last times that you may be able to accumulate some of these at good prices. So as I've shared with my quant strategy, I'm going to try to accumulate some quant and cash out on that later in this bull run, and then buy back in after the bull run when it depreciates and we have a market correction. So we'll go to the website here and take a look, and we'll also go to CoinGecko and look at the prices of them and what they did in the last bull run and what I think they could do in the next one. So what is ISO 222? It's an international protocol that provides a secure and standardized way of exchanging financial messages between organizations within the payment industry. The protocol will replace the 50-year-old SWIFT financial system, which banks and other financial institutions use to facilitate global payments. So this is going to replace the current system that they're using. And it's great that a lot of these projects are already certified for that, so hopefully we'll see some adoption. The standard addresses the need of financial services looking to create globally accepted messaging language. The language allows them to implement their business and processes to collaborate with their partners utilizing one universal platform. So, and I think Quant is going to be really good for this because it's not actually a blockchain, but it's actually a technology that kind of interoperates and umbrellas over all of them and connects them all together. So Quant is going to be like the central hub for a lot of these, so I think that's going to be a really good project to be invested in. Financial institutions such as banks and crypto companies and stockbrokers can benefit from ISO 222. It enables efficient and effective communication across multiple departments, organizations, reducing costs associated with numerous communication systems. In addition, interoperability between existing protocols while still having the ability to support specific financial business processes makes ISO 222 an excellent choice for any company involved in financial services. Why is this crucial? Well, they've been able to keep up. It's hard for them to keep up with the competition, but this is going to let all the banks be able to transfer data and transactions instantly pretty much across the world, anywhere in different blockchains and different technologies. So this could lead to adoption by centralized banks and enable cross-border crypto payments through centralized financial institutions. It's more advanced than traditional legacy formats banks use, and that supports more significant data volumes and faster processing rates. So we'll go down here and look at the benefits of being compliant for this: increased visibility and credibility among investors and traders, enhanced security measures for storage and transactions. They have to go through more security enhancements and more certifications than other projects. So any of these tokens that are ISO 222 certified, they've gone through a lot more rigorous testing and certification than other projects. So it makes them stand out above the others, and that's why I think these are going to do really well in the next bull run. There's improved liquidity for trading activities and also reduced risk of fraudulent activities. Increased customer confidence in the coin or token stability and reliability. So there you go. And a list of ISO 222 compliant cryptocurrencies. We'll go over this list and we'll kind of look at each one. We've got Quant, Ripple XRP, Stellar XLM, Hedera HBAR, IOTA, it's MyOTA, XDC Network, that's the XDC token, Algorand, the Algo token, and Cardano ADA. And I've actually had Cardano ADA in the past, and I've got a bunch of Quant now. I'm still accumulating more. With XRP, I haven't invested in that one yet because of the lawsuit, and it has had a small correction since it was up in 50 some cents recently. So we'll kind of go over these and take a look at it and look at Quant here. Quant is one I've been accumulating. You guys know that if you watch my previous videos. I just can't accumulate them all. I'm trying to spread out my funds in different tokens, gaming tokens, metaverse tokens, some artificial intelligence, and some ISO 222 tokens. So we'll take a look at Quant here. At $107, this is a great buy. As you can see, this was down to 104 back in December and even down to 104 the other day. So this is a great buying range. It was up to over $150 at one point. And then if we go to the max here, it got up to a little over $200 last year, and during the last bull run it got up to $396. So that's where that one's at. XRP's at 42 cents. This might be a good accumulation price for it, but it was down in the 32-cent range previously, and before it didn't do really well in the last bull run because of the lawsuit. I think if the lawsuit gets settled before 2025, XRP could do really well in the next bull run. We'll just have to kind of play it by ear on that one. But it's not really a bad price to be accumulating XRP. You're definitely going to make some money in the next bull run with that one. And Stellar XLM, I haven't been accumulating any of this, but this is another good one to look at. If you look at the previous bull runs, back in the 2018, it got up to over 80 cents, but I'm not sure what the actual market cap. We can go compare market caps. It was a little over 15 billion, and then last bull run it got up to almost 17 billion. If we look at the market cap right now, we're at a little over 2.3 billion. So that is about a 7x from here. Is what it did last time. So it's hard to say what it's going to do in the next bull run. But you're definitely going to probably make some money if ISO 222 tokens take off. You could see a $8 to $10 XLM in the next bull run, but I would think $5 for sure. And Hedera HBAR, this is another good one. The price on this one's great right now. If you look at the max price here, it got up to 50 cents previously. It's at a little over 5.5 cents now. But if you go to the market cap, it got up to about 7 billion last time. It's at 1.7 billion now, so that's about a 4x from here. So it's potentially, I think it could potentially do 50 cents to $1 pretty easily in the next bull run. Some are calling for it to do up to $2. But I would start, if you do accumulate some HBAR, I would start cashing out some of it around 50 cents, at least 10 to 25%, so you get your original investment back, and 25% preferably, so you get about 2.5 times your original investment right off the bat, and then you still have 75% to play with for if it goes higher or not. Just try to play it safe to get gains, and anything over 10x, you really should start taking some serious profits, in my opinion. That's going to be my strategy this time going around. IOTA is at 18 cents here, and I think this one, if we take a look at it here, this one did really well back in 2018. I hit $5, but it could have been a lot it could have been a lot less tokens in circulation. We'll take a look here. It got up to, I guess it did at 12.5 billion, $14 billion market cap back in 2018. But then the last bull run, it only got up to a 7 billion market cap. So if we look at the market cap right now, it's at 500 million just about. So if it got up to 7 billion, that's about, let's see, 7 billion market cap. So about a 14x. That's not bad at all. If we go to the price here, yeah, it got up to over $2.36. So yeah, you probably could get an easy 15 to 20x out of this one. So that might be one that you want to look at and accumulate some of this one. Try to get the ones that are going to be safe and still have promising gains for the next bull run. Now, with it doing so much higher back here in 2018 and not so well in the previous bull run, there's a possibility it could do even less in the next bull run. You just have to look at this project more and see what they're doing and see if there's going to be bigger adoption in this next bull run with the ISO 222 adoption coming. It maybe it'll surpass the first bull run that it went through, but we don't know. I guess I'd have to look into this one a little bit more and see what's going on with it to see if that would be a good one to invest in or not. The possibility is there though. XDC, it's currently at 3 cents, and if we look at this one, it's up quite a bit. I'll go over the 180-day range. It was down to 2 cents back here in December, and then it got all the way up to 4.5 cents. So a little over a 2x, and then now it's corrected down some to around a 3.3 cent range. So this might be a good one to accumulate. I think it's a little bit high right now. You'll probably see a larger correction on this one possibly. And if we look at the last bull run for this one, it got up to almost 18 cents here. So it's about a 5x from where it's at now, maybe a 6x, something like that. So it's a possibility that this could do a 10 to 15x in the next bull run, depending on how XDC does. But that's another one that you might want to look at. And we'll go over Algorand. A lot of people like Algorand, but the only problem with Algorand is for some reason the SEC has declared it to be a security in one instance. So we'll see how that kind of pans out. So that's one thing that kind of worries me about Algorand, and we'll see what the judgment ends up being with some of these tokens that were declared a security recently. I wouldn't see why it would be considered one, but the SEC seems to think so. So we'll see with this one. If we go back on this one, the market cap got up to 12.5 billion. It's got a huge correction from there, and let's see here, probably almost 13 billion market cap it got up to last bull run. Right now that's about a 10x from where it's at now, so that this might be another good one to look at, because this, if it does 2 or 3 times this in the next bull run, that would be 20 to 40x on this one if it does that well. But I guess with the SEC claiming it's a security, we'll kind of have to watch this one and see how it does. But the price on this one is probably really good range to be accumulating this over the last 180 days. Right now is the lowest price that it's been, and I think that's partially due to what the SEC said recently about it. If we go to the 30-day, it's just been coming down. So it's one thing to keep in mind with that. But when projects get fear, uncertainty, and doubt and FUD, and it knocks the price down, it's a good time to buy them up a lot of times. And so that might be a good one to start accumulating. Cardano, I'm pretty familiar with this one. I had quite a bit of it in the last bull run. I actually flipped a bunch of Cardano. I think I had around $25,000 invested and flipped it for like $96,000. And then I made the mistake of putting it all into smaller cap tokens because we were supposed to get an alt run. That's what all the influencers were saying. Oh, we're going to have this huge alt run, but it never really hit the small alts after that. It just stayed in the bigger caps. And I moved my money from the bigger caps to the smaller caps, and then they all crashed, and I lost pretty much everything. So luckily I took out my original investment though. So I was okay with that, but I could have made a lot more money if I would have just left it in some of the bigger caps, because they did eventually come back up and do better than where they were at. But Cardano hit almost $3, about $3 in the last bull run. I think it'll do probably better than that. I think around $5 in the next bull run. So we'll kind of have to see with that, but that's more than a 10x from here. I think it's a pretty good price to be accumulating some Cardano. Now it was down lower earlier in January, is down in the 25-cent range area, so it's up a little bit from there. And you may see some further correction on a lot of these tokens, guys, from what they did in the past, because we are in accumulation phase. I know some people are calling it a bull market, but it's not a true bull market. It's a bullish phase in a accumulation phase, in my opinion. And I'm not an expert by any means, but I could see a large correction coming in the market later this year, possibly within the next several weeks, or maybe by November, December, somewhere around there. It's hard to say. Anytime we get these dips is a good time to start accumulating. You may get lower prices later, you may not. So anytime we get these good corrections, it's a good time to accumulate and just dollar cost average into these projects. And right now I think it's a pretty good time to start to continue dollar cost averaging into a lot of these. And your portfolio, if you buy some and the price comes down a little bit more, your portfolio may be down at that time, but that's why you try to save some more money or earn some more money between now and the next dip to buy more, to bring your dollar cost average down. And then by the time the bull run gets here, you've accumulated a lot of these tokens at good prices, and a lot of these prices that are, like 20 cent Algorand or 25 cent Algorand, it's going to mean nothing if you paid that much for it, and then it drops down to 16 cents. And then you're like, oh no, my portfolio is down. Well, in 2025, if it hits, if it hits $3 to $5, what's 25 cents? You just got to kind of think about it that way. So, but these are some really good price ranges to accumulate a lot of these. Now we'll go back to the website here and take a look at this. How is ISO 222 changing in 2023? ISO 222 will undergo several changes in 2023. The ISO 222 Crypto List Committee will expand the list of compliant coins and tokens and revise the criteria for inclusions on the list. In addition, the organization will make changes to improve security measures and reduce fraudulent activities. New features such as cross-chain interoperability and atomic swaps will likely feature in the new editions, allowing users to effortlessly convert one cryptocurrency into another. I mean, that's huge. SWIFT, the world's leading payment system, announced its decision to delay the implementation standard until March of 2023. This international transaction standard has become increasingly popular and enables data-rich payments compared to traditional formats. As a result, financial institutions worldwide are now considering their options and timelines for completing the upgrade. These changes will make the ISO 222 protocol even more secure and more reliable for international and cross-border payments. How will it impact different players in the industry? The ISO 222 implementation will require all financial institutions, service institutions, market infrastructures, and corporates to engage in international payment flows to change how they process, store, and communicate cross-border payment information. We can only realize the benefits of ISO 222 with an end-to-end implementation affecting everything from the core payment application, middleware services, compliance tools, reporting applications, messaging interfaces, and customer interfaces. Therefore, organizations must be convenient experts to plan implementation timeline that meets CBPR requirements. How will this implementation impact the industry? It will require organizations to change how they process, store, and communicate payment information. This is not like optional for the banks. They all have to go to this infrastructure. And to have a lot of these projects in place with blockchain technologies ahead of time can help these banks decide, which one's best for me. And hopefully they choose some of these. Whichever ones they choose, you just don't know which one it's going to be. That that project is going to skyrocket more than likely. Now that's kind of why I'm putting my funds into Quant, because Quant is kind of the overledger on all of them. It's in the middle of it all and connecting it all together. That's why I'm pretty sure Quant is likely to be adopted. In fact, their CEO said that they've been in talks with the Bank of England recently and working with them to develop their system for it. So hopefully that means that Quant has been accepted by them. ISO 222 is now being used by over 70 countries, including Switzerland, China, India, and Japan, in their payment systems with over 200 payment types. It will combine formats and data components for numerous payment techniques that could not previously communicate with one another due to differences in standards. So that's what I wanted to cover with these ones, guys. That's all I've got for the ISO 222, but this is something that I think you should really take seriously and take a look at, and these tokens could do really well over the coming years, and especially up into 2029 and 2030 when this is fully in place and fully adopted. But the time to buy them is now, while the banks have not jumped into them or anything like that. Now, obviously, not all of these are going to be a good investment. You just kind of have to play it by ear and see which one gets adopted, and hopefully some of them will get adopted. My personal opinion is that the banks have a lot of money and a lot of IT technology where they could just go ahead and launch their own token and use their own network, and that may be what works best for them. But that's why I'm kind of invested in Quant just as a safety net, because I think Quant is going to be essential for these banks, because if they all come out, if they don't use like XRP or XLM or any of these other ones, HBAR and them, if they don't end up using any of them for some reason and they come up with their own, they're still going to need an overledger. And that's where Quant comes in, and that's why I'm accumulating it, because I think that the key here could be Quant over all of them. Now, I could be wrong, and some of these, multiple of these could be adopted. It's just how I'm kind of looking at it, because I know how banks are, and they're going to be like, well, we don't want somebody in charge of our network that we're using for our payment system. Where Quant just kind of jumps in and it makes the transaction seamless and instant for them, and they can send funds in any currency across the world to another currency, and it automatically swaps it to whatever currency that it's receiving on the other end, and they can send data and everything else. So that's just kind of my personal opinion. I'd appreciate it if you left some comments in the chat below on what you think of the ISO 222 tokens, which ones you're accumulating, which ones you think would be best for the next bull run. I know a lot of people are really big on XRP, and XRP has a huge following. If they win that lawsuit, I think it's going to go crazy, and regardless of whether it gets fully adopted by banks or not. And I think that even if they lose the lawsuit, if they have some kind of settlement, I think it could still do well as long as the settlement is over before the next bull run, and it should be. But that's all I got for this one, guys. I appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.
Tell me what you need, tell me what you need, tell me.